The anticlimactic ending to the Italian Grand Prix will be the top article on the FIA summit agenda list according to Christian Horner, while Toto Wolff believes a Big Bang show finale was avoided thanks to the lessons learned from Abu Dhabi. The final 5 laps of the Italian Grand Prix behind the safety car at Monza this weekend have been criticised by fans and personnel in the paddock this week, with many wanting the Italian Grand Prix to be finished under racing conditions rather than a procession under the yellow flags, as Danny Ricciardo's McLaren was moved from trackside. Christian Horner was one of those left frustrated by the finish, with the Red Bull boss saying he'd rather see his driver win under racing conditions despite the risk of a restart, believing that the mess at the end of the race, including the wrong car being picked up by the safety car, will be on top of the agenda when the FIA meets with race officials and team managers today at the FIA summit meeting, with Horner adding, "Certainly there are a lot of issues on the table. We need to avoid scenarios as we had at the end of the race." Toto Wolff, however, was pleased to see the regulations being applied correctly, with many looking at last season's finish to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix as the inspiration for race director Niels Wittich to not be pressured into making a spectacle of the end of the race, despite pressure from fans, the media and others to do so. If one is not happy with the regulations and you want to have a Big Bang show and 2 laps of racing and mayhem, I'm absolutely up for it, said Wolff. But then we need to change the regulations, so I don't think we should complain about anything that happened because these are the rules. Sometimes, I guess, in Formula 1, we don't get the race finishes that we want, but perhaps the race finishes that we deserve. Let's go with something a little more positive from the Italian Grand Prix to finish off the news this Monday, as Dutch driver Nick de Vries has revealed his nervous lack of sleep might have actually benefited him in his Formula 1 debut and help him clinch 2 points and a 9th place finish for Williams at the Italian Grand Prix. The Dutch driver was meant to just be behind the wheel of an Aston Martin during FP1 this weekend, as the team completed one of its F1 rookie test sessions. His Saturday and Sunday were meant to be spent in the swanky paddock club at Monza and shadowing Toto Wolff down at Mercedes, but Alex Albon's bout of appendicitis meant that the former F2 and Formula E world champion would step in for qualifying and race day at Williams, making his Formula 1 debut. De Vries outqualified his teammate Nicholas Latifi, starting 8th on the grid for the race and finishing 9th on Sunday, holding his own in the middle of the pack throughout the Grand Prix. Speaking after his F1 debut, De Vries noted that his lack of sleep the night before could have actually been a positive factor contributing to his race. "It went from excitement to nerves, and I didn't dare look at my sleep tracking on my Oura ring because I basically spent the whole night awake. But perhaps that helped me. I couldn't think and I had to get on with the job." As for on the track, it certainly wasn't an easy afternoon, scrapping with Zhou Guanyu and Pierre Gasly for much of the Grand Prix, with the Dutchman sent to the stewards after the race for driving erratically, but he only faced a reprimand in the end. "I asked for a lot of help from the team," continued the Dutchman, "how to deal with the tools on the car to influence the balance. I know we had a bit of help from the outside with grid penalties and retirements, but hey, no one can take these points away from us." We'll have plenty more reaction to the Italian Grand Prix on the GPFans Stewards Room podcast coming out tomorrow on the YouTube channel. Hit subscribe down below to stay with us for that. And of course, GPFans.com and GPFans Global across social media for all your F1 news.